What's up? It's Therion, Thacker, and Kaelan Moss here with the MinuteAdmin crew, and we are going to continue on with AMPscript. You ready, Therion?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to set the timer, 45 minutes, get that started, and let's go. So we are logged into Marketing Cloud already. We're just going to finish up this exercise. And we're going to let's just finish up this exercise. So yesterday we put hi first name, and we're in a content builder. We're making an email. So we watched what he did yesterday, which was, right there.
Yep. I think we were just finishing up our segment here to return the line you've completed.
Yep.
Because we finished the hi name. Now we're doing the you've completed said so objective. We're returning this value to you.
So that's going to be the output after this code block. Where's percent, 10% code block. And then we have up here, what we're doing is, in order to output that variable that we're going to be looking up, because eventually it's going to end up saying percent equals the lookup of something. And it's going to be that variable that we set. And the thing we're setting is we're setting the variable called row to equal lookup rows. And if you look at the lookup row function in AMPscript, you'll see it just needs three variables: the data extension name you're looking from, the column that you're using to match your values, and then the value that you're using to match to return the rows. So lookup rows. And then we're going to find the value from the Cloud Learner beams. So if we go to our data extension, and I'm going to go here to an email studio, and we go to this data extension here, there. We're going to Cloud Learner beams data extension. We have Cloud Learner ID, beams ID, start date, complete date, endpoints. So we're going to the Cloud Learner beams data extension. Parentheses around those.
Yep.
Where Cloud Learner ID, column called Cloud Learner ID.
Right
here.
Yep.
And to pull that in faster, we can just go here. Which data extension? AMP EO3 Cloud Learner beams. AMPscript. Oh yeah, we're doing a lookup. So this isn't a sendable data extension. So this is a
Hey Josh, good morning.
What's going on, Josh? Good morning. Cloud Learner ID. So it's going to be where Cloud Learner ID is equal to ID.
ID. Yeah.
And then set the variable called beams equal to 0. Set the variable called points equal to 0. And then a for loop. I equals 1, 2.
Our row
Row
count. Yeah. And then at the row, we're going to do. And if not empty, in this field, row, at row, comma, at I, points, return.
And now I'm starting to see the pattern for
Mm-hmm.
the, like, this syntax we've seen so many times now.
Yes, yes. It's starting to pound into your head. Yep.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
Yeah, we're doing it the hard way, man. We're doing it the hard way.
I still don't know what it actually means, but
I mean, but we get how it works, right? We get how it works and what it's attempting to do from a high
I
level.
wish I could say I did, but hey, I'm trying.
Because once again, we're right back to PEMDAS, right? We're just drawing little arches from one word to the next to connect each. You know?
Yeah, we really
Yep.
are.
Yep.
I think what I'm still trying to figure out is how to actually read it perfectly and in my brain take what I'm reading and relate it back to a data extension and a piece of data.
Well, remember, if we were working on a project, we would have already been working with these data extensions quite a bit. We'd know the fields, we'd kind of know the columns and the rows that we're working with. So we would be generalized in a sense of, okay, I need this from this extension because it has what I need here. And then I need to pull this from here because it has what I need here. And, you know, if we were in it every day, all day, you know, we would know the columns of the data extension. I kid you not. I kid
Oh
you
yeah,
not. Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think what I'm thinking is like that just goes to show why you got to know the data so well.
Oh yeah, you have to know the data. Yep. How do you pull what you need if you don't understand your data, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
There's no way. There's no way. Okay, so we've seen this next I forget what the next even does, but
next, so we're next loop or next rotation or next.
Okay. So then are we saying, okay, so you've completed X amount of beams at beams. So it's that. And X amount of points. And then there's that. So let's see. Next. And which data extension are we testing this on? We're testing this on the
There's so many cloud learners at this point.
I think we're EO3 cloud learners.
Okay.
I think it's that one for with the people, because those are the people's names and it's our only sendable data extension.
Right.
Used for sending, yeah. So when we test it, we're gonna click this little box to go find our data extension folder that has the cloud learners. Find them and see if that renders.
And then it's to double back on the specifics of the next. So you will notice the next keyword at the end of the loop. Each time this keyword is reached, the system compares the current index we just checked to the value of the counter defined by what we said at the beginning, right? Our row count function. And if the value is not equal to the end of the index, the loop will continue to repeat until the end of the index is reached. So it's just checking. It's literally just rotating through lines.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so this is our code. Invalid number of arguments passed in the lookup rows.
Okay. So we don't have enough argument. We don't have enough in our PEMDAS is what it's saying.
Maybe I need to put a parentheses.
Okay, name of data extension from which to return the rows. We got it. Name of the column that identifies the rows retrieved. We got it. They actually give you the 5-step breakdown of the string and what's required in it. That's really good.
Yeah, that is good.
Yep.
Do I need to put the word lookup rows? Hey, Vikas, how's it going?
Good morning, Vikas.
Good morning. Good morning.
Or good afternoon or good evening.
Yeah, depending on where you are.
Depending on where you at. Okay, so
Cloud Learner ID.
mhm.
Cloud Learner ID. So we have name of the data extension where you want to return right there.
Yep. Required.
Oh, good night. Yeah, good night there in India.
Good night.
I love it. I love it. Up at a late time of the night, learning some AMPscript.
Okay,
Name
so
of the column
that identifies the rows to retrieve. So that's Cloud Learner ID. Value that identifies the rows to retrieve required. So that's the ID.
and then the rest.
And
the
then
other two are
the other
optional.
two are optional. Okay. So we've supplied 1 through 3. We're good there.
If not empty, field row at I. Is it points?
Points. Yep. Okay.
Let's just see. I'm gonna just see if that's it.
Okay, let's see what's going on. It's really just giving us advice over there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Yep, it was an S. It was just one S in the point. That was it.
I honestly, I look at AMPscript.io as like the Grammarly of AMPscript, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just kind of keeping you in the guardrails.
It's keeping you in check. Yep.
Absolutely.
It is. That's the
Yeah, for
perfect way
sure.
of putting it.
Yep.
Okay, so this needs to say beams.
And another thing I wanted to bring up from a gamer perspective is if I worked in this every day, I would have a hotkey list set for myself where I can just drop these functions really quickly for the ones that I need for a certain project, so I don't have to consistently chase an S or chase a word that I missed a bracket on. You know what I mean?
What's a hotkey?
So a hotkey in gaming is, let's say you're combining 2 motions at the same time. So perfect example, I play Destiny 2. So when you're running and you combine crouch and slide at the same time, you as you're running and you hit crouch, you slide. Okay.
Okay.
So you set a hotkey for running and crouch. So you can hit the hotkey and you do both at the same time, and you're just instantly sliding all the time. Yep. Pro strats right there.
Dude, I gotta get back into gaming or something.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I just shared a trailer of what's coming up with somebody, and they go, "Is that really what video games look like today?" And I go, "Yes, that is really what video games look like today."
Dude, it's like I'm like thinking of Spyro back in 2002.
Oh, it's a cinematic adventure now. It's an absolute cinematic, lore-filled adventure now. It's wild. It's completely immersive. Not even gonna lie.
Dude, is it better on what is it? I'm gonna stop sharing and then screen share the actual video. What is it?
I have
or Xbox?
I have a PS5 and I have a gaming PC, and running your favorite game at 240 frames per second almost makes it like liquid on your monitor when you're playing. It's one of the most amazing experiences. If you ever have the opportunity to run a game that hard, it's worth it.
Okay, I got to build my PC.
We got to build you a PC for sure. All right, what do we got? What'd you say?
Tell me if you can hear this.
3,400.
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe just a little low.
10 beams and
a little lower.
No, you're good there. You're good there. Whatever that volume was.
Okay.
33,400. Perfect. Bravo was 10 and 33,200. 33,200. Perfect. That's task 2 complete. Let's now have a look at task number 3. So you just send off the sample email and your leader arrives with the next requirement, a content block that shows the last 3 courses completed. So the leader wants the content block to display in a 3-column mobile responsive format.
We got the YouTube question, Skip.
Include the following mock-up. So on desktop, it's going to be 1, 2, 3 in a row, but on mobile, it has to stack. Okay. We're going to have the name, the completed date, and the total points earned over the points they could have earned. Okay, so name, completed date, points earned, and of course the course point total, the max points. All right, we have to use a black border around each block. You can see it's got a block there, so we can see it in the layout. All right, the expected result for delta looks like that. Okay, so name, completed date, and the points they earned next to the points they could have earned. So not 100% all the way. All right, cool, cool, cool. Let's try that out. So back on our email, let's have a look. We need to make a new content block. So first of all, let's go layouts. Let's grab ourselves a 3-column content block, just like that. Now we have to return the 3 latest completed. So inside of our layout, we're going to need a couple of HTML blocks. Let's put our first one in there. We're going to need to do a similar lookup to our previous lookup. But rather than just looking up the Cloud Learner beams as a lookup, we're going to need to do that lookup with a lookup ordered rows. So let's cheat a bit and take our previous code. We'll jump in here and do a code block to kick things off. And we'll call this set row latest. All right, so set row latest, lookup ordered rows. We'll keep our beams, returning back the 3 latest beams. We have to return back the 3 latest. On what order? So it's going to be on the order of their completed date. So we can do complete date, or is it completed date? Let's make sure we get that right. Complete date. So copy that value and complete date in order descending. So we want the most recently completed first with our 3 rows. Okay, there we are. So it's going to get our 3 rows. So we now have our data set, our row set with our last 3 rows. How do we now put this into our content? Our content needed to have a couple of things. If we have a look back at our brief, it's going to be the name, the date, and the points. Name, date, points. All right. So name, date, points over max points. All right. So how do we do points over max points? We'll have to look up the max point that we could have gotten. So to do that, we're going to have to do another lookup function. So for the name, we do have it stored inside of our value of row latest. So we should be able to do here for our name, we should be able to go % equals field. So we can do field. We've been looking at the field with the row. That's our row set. We just want the first row. We don't have to look up in a for loop. This is just going to be for our first content block. So we'll look up row number 1 as a static. When you're looking up what field, well, of course, the name field. Now, the name field is not going to be inside of our beams, though, so we have to make sure that we get that field from another area. So we're actually going to be using a different lookup. So let's do another one here. Go %. We'll do a lookup function to get the name. Go look up. And we're looking up what data extension? Well, the beams data extension to get the name. Our beams data extension. So looking up beams, returning back the name, where the beam ID, is it called beam ID? Let's double check that, it's called ID. So where the ID is equal to the value of beam ID. Let's make sure we get this right. I'm pretty sure it's beams ID. I'll double check that by going back into our Cloud Learner beams. And make sure that the beam ID is beams ID. That's it there.
Nothing feels quite like hitting a PXG iron. That's because we use hollow body construction, then it's club.
All right, perfect. So we're looking up the name where the beams ID is ID, and that's the name. Perfect. Line break. Now below that is the completed date. So completed date we can actually get from our original field. So completed date was the completed date. Let's grab that value and go in and paste our value. That's our second row. Our third row was the points. Now we do have the points value already in that data extension, that first Cloud Learner beams. So there's our points. We then want that to be next to the max points they could have earned by looking up that beam. So look at that beam, this time returning back the points they could have earned on the beam ID, and that creates their max points value. There we are, 1, 2, 3 rows with the points over max points. And of course, our lookup function at the start here, creating that lookup with the 3 rows for our row set. And this makes our next block here really easy to build. We can simply duplicate this block. Actually, before we do, we have to put that border in it, don't we? Click on the block and go border settings. Let's add a border width of 1, black. There we are. Now we can duplicate. Duplicate and paste. We don't need to look up again. We can delete that and change our static lookup to be looking up 2. Looking up 2, looking up 2, looking up 2. There we are. Done. And duplicate that one into our third column and looking up our third most recent. So 3, 3, 3, and 3. There we are. That should now look up our 1, 2, 3. And because we are using the default template in Marketing Cloud, it means that we should have in our lookup, in our layout here, this layout should be mobile responsive. If we go to mobile view, it stacks 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. All right, let's try out our code. We'll go next. Now we should see for Bravo, who was our test record? We had Delta. So let's move forward and try Delta. Now Delta is meant to have designing for nonprofit, control center cloud, and service support in the cloud. Perfect. That's it. 3150 over 4500. 3150 over, there we go. All right, looking very good. That's task number 3 complete.
Okay, so this task, add mobile responsive block. So I'm just going to start back. I'm going to go back to where he has the code written out.
Yeah.
Because I will say, like, right now, this is definitely like head against a brick wall, I feel like right now.
Oh yeah, he just created 3 blocks. He replaced the number in each block to represent what we wanted to return.
Okay, so if we look at, I just want to read task 3. So you just sent off, sent off a sample email where your leader arrives with the next requirement, a content block that shows the last 3 courses completed. Okay, here's your last 3 courses. They want the content to be displayed in a 3-column mobile responsive format. They included the following mockup. The first latest name, when you completed it, and what you got. Okay.
Yep.
Second latest class, third latest class, when you completed it, and the points you got. Add a 3-column layout to produce the requested content. Only the 3 latest completed courses with the name, completed date, and points earned / course points should be owned or shown.
Right. Yep.
Use a black border 1 pixel around.
And then let's look at our return data. So what we want to return, our expected results are, hi Delta, you completed 9 beams and earned 35,100 points. We wanted to return the designing for nonprofit in the cloud, like type. So I'm looking at the rows that we want to return that data from. I think it'll give us a better idea before we kick it off. Okay, when we go to look at our data extensions.
Because if we look at our data extension, which, okay, he was pulling from.
He was pulling from.
Okay,
Cloud Learner beams, and then a complete date descending.
Okay. Let's look at the records in these data extensions. So Cloud Learner Beams has Cloud Learner ID, Beams ID, start date, complete date, and number of points.
Okay.
And then Beams has the ID of the class name, that's where we're pulling the That's where we're pulling the name of this right here.
Right.
Where's that at? Designing for nonprofit in the cloud. 4,000 points, which you see here.
Mm-hmm.
Control Center Cloud right here, 5,500 points overall.
We can't see the data extension, just to let you know.
Oh, thank you.
Yep, just wanted to let you know.
Let's see. Right here.
Perfect. Okay, here we are. There's the name that we want.
Designing for nonprofit in the cloud. Boom, goes right there.
So they have
Yep.
3,200 out of 4,000.
Yep. And then Control Center. Where's that at?
Control
Right.
Center Cloud, there it is.
5,500 max
and then-
points.
Yep, and then service support in the cloud. There it is. Max
45.
4,500. Okay.
And then right here, we're pulling up when they completed that class, which is coming from Cloud Learner Beams.
Yep.
And it's going to show completed date. So we're really just figuring out how to pull data from a certain data extension, and how to pull data from another data extension. So it's just, okay.
Yep.
All right. And then the setting up the content builder. So if we go to Delta, I don't even think we have Delta in here.
No, I think Delta is the one we're missing. We have
Yeah, I think
Alpha,
that's-
Bravo, Charlie, and Echo.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the only one. I don't know why.
Oh, Delta got kicked from the squad, man. I'm
He got
telling
kicked.
you.
He got kicked. He got banned.
Yep, right before Valentine's Day, he's like, "Ah, you gotta go. You done. You ain't gonna make the cut."
Oh, you didn't make the roster.
Oh, you done.
We're pulling this layout, 3-column, HTML, code block, as always. Started off with this. Setting the row to look up ordered rows, right? Look up ordered rows.
Yes. Hold on. Where? Yep. Look up order rows. Yep.
Which is task 3. So we're setting. So he's saying set at row latest.
Mm-hmm.
That variable. Look up ordered rows. AMP EO3 Cloud Learner beams. Last 3 columns.
Yep. Complete date descending. Cloud
Yep.
Cloud Learner ID.
Complete date and descending order, which is
Yep.
coming from Cloud Learner beams. Right here, Cloud Learner
Yep.
beams. Okay, that's making sense. That's making sense. Okay.
Yep.
And then where Cloud Learner ID right here is equal to
Mm-hmm.
ID.
Mm-hmm.
Or wait,
No.
how could it equal that? Because
Well,
this is 21, 18, and this is like
Cloud
Cloud Learner ID.
wait, what's okay? So let me see here. Look at Cloud Learner beams data extension 3 complete date descending Cloud Learner ID.
One, name of the data extension.
Yep.
2, number of rows to return.
Yep.
Which is 3.
Defines the order.
3 defines the order. 4, field to use to build the where clause.
Yep.
And then 5, the value to use to build the where clause. Okay. I'm not going to think too much into it. I'm just thinking that's the value. But
Hold on. I want to find there.
so it looks like every time they do this, it's always like a. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's always like something.
All right, hold on, let me see here. I want to know exactly. Okay, so return to row set where? Okay. I was looking for just the breakdown of where. And the first reference is lookup rows. Returns a row set from a data extension where the field matches the specified value. Okay. The columns to retrieve. Okay, okay.
Okay. That's going to be confusing.
Yeah, okay, let's get back to that's a wormhole for sure on a Saturday morning.
Yeah. That's going to be some work. Okay, so he has it. Okay, so he actually closes this code bracket right here.
Yep, it's done.
And he has a new lookup.
Yep, and this lookup is going to be duplicated 3 times, each one with a latest row. So
Look
we
up
got
what? Let's see.
AMP EO3 beams. Yep,
Yeah, we're
right
going
here.
to that data
And then
extension.
we're gonna, once we go to there, we're gonna go to name, ID.
Where the name field.
Yep, and the ID field.
Is equal to
Row. And then it's gonna go up to what we set as the row latest. So it's gonna use the function we just created above.
okay, gotcha.
Yep. And then it's going to give us the beams ID back. And then we're going to break line.
It's going to give us that first row, comma, equals %%.
Mm-hmm. Break line. Yep. Drop down to the next.
Copy, paste twice.
Okay. No, so that'll be, no, we're not done with the first one yet. So the one we're going to copy and paste is going to be built off of this first one. You see what I'm saying? So you can delete those. Okay. So let's build our first one. So now we're going to go %. There we go. Field row. Latest. And this is our returns, right? And then break line. Because looking at the output that we want, this is us just returning each one of those pieces of information that they want.
Okay.
And then we're going to break line there. Yep. And then this one's going to return points. And then at the end of that one, this is where our math comes in, our division. Divided by the lookup, and here's a big one. Yep.
Divided by lookup of, excuse me.
No, you're good. Divided by lookup of amp EO3 beams, points, ID, field, row, at row, latest one, beams ID. Yep. And then break line. And then there's our first function. So
Okay.
now we copy that twice, and we replace the so the one, no, just the one we just created, those 3 lines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So copy that. We'll duplicate that twice below. And then the other 2 pieces of data we need to return out of it, we're going to put a, yep, you got it. And then we're going to change the 1s to 2s in the next one, and then the 2s to 3s in the one after that.
Those are the 2s.
Yep. And then I'm just making sure there's, yeah. Yep.
And those are 3s. Let's see.
Here we go. Looks great.
Hey, let's
Hey,
go.
look at that.
Let's
Okay, so
go.
what do we got? Hi, Charlie. You've completed 6 beams and earned 13,150 points. Cloud Admin Intermediate, 10/27/2021, 12 a.m., 2,800 out of 4,000. Reporting in the cloud, okay, 1,400 out of 2,000. All right.
Nice. Okay, and then we just add in a block settings.
Yep, add in a
Border
border. And we going big.
Yeah, we make
We
them
going
border.
big. I want to see them borders.
I want these to be. I want that data to stay in there. There we go.
Hey, look at that.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
Okay.
it's not pretty or anything, but it works.
Right.
Yep.
Let's see mobile responsive here. Desktop, mobile. See if it's prettier.
Oh, way better.
Yeah.
Yep. Way better.
All right. Okay. So, well, let's see. We have, what else do we have here? Okay, we got 7 minutes left.
Yep.
So I'm going to keep that up because I'm going to put that in the link. Hey, appreciate it, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Okay, so we have, okay. Next exercise. Let's see. This might actually go longer than the 7 minutes.
Oh, it's definitely going to go longer than 7 minutes for sure. I just took a peek at it. It's a beast. This will probably be a 2-session exercise. I kid you not, looking at it.
Definitely.
Because we're starting to throw in colors, borders, solids, border lefts and rights.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a solid one. We can watch the video just to
Let's
prep
do it.
for the next session. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's have a look at task number 4, the final task. So your leader has shown the amazing work to the business managers, and they're excited with the email so far. Good to hear. The Chief Loyalty Officer has asked to include a list of courses the learner has started but not completed in the following format. So a heading which says, don't forget about these beams, and the course name, earn up to, how many points they could earn, and the total points, and the started date when they started. Okay. So I mentioned that the section should only show for learners with incomplete courses. So you can see here that Charlie does not have any incomplete courses. So there's nothing shown, including the heading. Delta does have 2 incomplete courses, so it shows the heading followed by those 2 courses with the name, points, and start date. Okay, so use some HTML to produce the content, and it should be separated by a 1px black border. You can see it's a bottom-only border. Okay. It is a list format. It does not have a left and right mobile responsiveness, so it's just going to be a list for each. Okay, let's give this a go for task number 4. So back in our email, let's make a new HTML section. We can probably reuse some code from our previous exercise here. So we'll probably go in and copy a little bit of this code. So we'll copy this lookup ordered rows. That's, of course, one of our first lookups that we can use to get our full list of courses for this learner. Once we have our full list of courses, this will, of course, be our row incomplete. Now, for row incomplete, we're going to be cycling through, and we actually don't want an ordered, actually. We want a lookup rows, because we don't need to look up the order or limit how many we actually return. We just want all of their courses, all of our incomplete courses. Now, next thing we have to do is to check to see if the course is complete or not. And we do have this if not empty if statement from earlier. So let's go and copy that, and we'll reuse that code. So in our incomplete rows, we'll cycle through. We have to make a for loop, of course, to cycle through them. So let's also copy our for loop code. This is our for loop code. This time we're going to use A as our variable. So we'll cycle through A, replacing all the I's with A's. There we are. And of course, we'll do a next A. There we are. All right, so we'll be cycling through all of our looked up cloud beans. And once we've been cycled through them, we actually want to check to see if it is empty. We only want the empty ones. So if it is empty, then we do want to show the content. Okay, so showing content, we're probably going to want to break our AMPscript code block and then restart our AMPscript code block. So whatever we're going to put, we can put inside here. Now what we could do is, because we are going to be building this as a content block, some HTML, we can do a cool little trick. We can actually put a new content block in here. I'm just going to call this one copy me. Now copy me content block here, some block settings in. Our border width is going to be 1 pixel on the bottom only. That's how we can create this bottom 1 pixel border, as you can see. And so I've now got that copy me, the 1 pixel bottom border. I'll go done. If I jump into my code view now, I can scroll down and look for copy me. There it is. And I can copy from the back of that table all the way to the start of the table, which is just there. Copy that. I can now go into this earlier block and paste it into this HTML content section here, just like that. Now I've now got the content of that content block inside of this content block. So I can probably delete my copy me content block now with delete. There we go. If I go back up, here it is. So I've now got my copy me HTML. I can format the HTML as you can see, and there we go. Here is what we show for each of those found incomplete courses. Brilliant. So what we do is not copy me. We're in fact going to have the name, the points, and the start date. All right, that'll be our structure that we do. Of course, with a line break for each line. Just like that. All right. Now, of course, if there is any courses that are complete, then we do want to show that heading. We don't forget about these beams. So put some text in here. Don't forget about these beams. Of course, that was in bold, wasn't it? So I go bold tag, just like that. Now we only want to show this if there is at least 1 row found in this row count. So we're looking this up, and we have to make sure that we are counting to see if we've found a row that is empty. So we can do, because we haven't got a value in our data extension to count only the empty rows, we have to cycle through and see if they're empty. We have to make a counter. So we can set counter, start at 0. Now, if we find an empty one, then we can do set counter is equal to add counter plus 1. We can add or increment counter by 1. Great.
Hey, Kaelan, I got a hard stop here.
By 1, we've incremented by 1. Let's now say if counter is equal.
All right, man. We only
All
have
right.
23 seconds left anyway. So
All right.
good session today.
Yes. I'm gonna go enjoy this homeowners association meeting.
All right. Get it,
Hey,
man. Enjoy
thanks,
those Coffee
Kaelan.
Joes.
I appreciate you, Josh, Vikas. Appreciate both of you for stopping by. And
Yes.
MinuteAdmin out.
MinuteAdmin out. Thanks, everyone.
Yep.
We'll see you later.